Welcome back to another review, and today we're going to be taking a look at Super7 Ultimate's Transformers Optimus Prime. And right now we are looking at the back of this box. This has some beautiful work on it. That is like a metallic red right there for the Autobot symbol. Very nice. I love the way they did this old grid, like from the cartoon. When the cartoon started, you had that grid pattern where they would come running out or driving out. Even towards the end of the opening of the cartoon, there was this grid. So yeah, very nostalgic. Now on the other side it says Autobots, and we have a little bit of an Autobot symbol here. And then on the other side we have the one, the only Optimus Prime, and a metallic red on that grid. I have to say, this is one of the, I don't really do a whole lot of unboxing and stuff like that, but this is one of the coolest boxes that I have seen from Super7 ever, and they did a fabulous job. It says Optimus Prime down here at the bottom, and then moving off to the side here, that's where the rest of the artwork goes. And of course it says Optimus Prime on this side here. Very nice, very nicely done. Now slipping off the cover, I do not have Optimus Prime in. It just says Transformers, and more of that grid, that classic grid that they had in the cartoon. And on the back you have the bio. Wow, that is such nostalgic right there. Super7 has gone all out, even on the cardboard box, to turn around and put the old this was the scale, right? The ranking. They would tell you the ranking, the skill, the power, their strength, and you would have that red strip that you used to put over the back of the box, or actually, you know, it was the back of the box. I think it was the back, on the back of the box. You would put that over there, and it would tell you their skill and their levels and everything, just like this does. So it says level, strength, intelligence, speed, endurance, rank, courage, firepower, and skill. Optimus Prime's skill is at a 9, and then his speed, because he transforms into, you know, a truck, is only at an 8. Everything else is at a 10. Excuse me. Everything else is at a 10. So yes, Super7 went all out with this. Fabulous, great job, beautiful artwork on this box. Now let's get into taking a look at this figure. Okay, so now getting into the man of the hour himself, Optimus Prime. Now, as you can see, I have his alternate head that he comes with, the vintage Optimus Prime head that came on all of our vintage Optimus Primes from back in the day when we were kids. I'm telling you, wow, I can't say it enough. Brian Flynn and his team have knocked this out of the park, man. I'm telling you. Look, it's Super7. They have their standard articulation, and I'm okay with that. I have their Panthro, their Lino, their Mum Ra. I've done videos on every single one of them. They're beautiful. They're gorgeous figures. And this one here, for the Transformers, it takes the cake. I mean, Mumra took the cake in the line of the Thundercats. I haven't done my review on my Monkey in yet, which I will. But yes, Optimus Prime, and this is the only one I'm probably going to pick up. I'm not going to get, you know, Megatron or Grimlock, and I know he's making a whole line of them, but Optimus is the one I wanted, so I got him. Here he is, and he is a gorgeous figures. If you are into Super7, you are into Ultimate, yeah, then these are the ones you want to pick up to add to your collection. If you're a Transformers collector, if you're not a Transformers collector, it doesn't matter. They're doing a fabulous job. They're knocking these out of the park. Before we get into talking about this guy, as usual, he comes with a plethora, and I mean a plethora, of nostalgic, awesome accessories. I have his pointing hand on him right now, and I have his blaster holding hand along with his blaster already in his hand. And as you can see, I have the nostalgic head, the vintage Optimus Prime head from the original 1984 Transformer toy. Let's get into taking a look at what else this guy comes with. Starting off, we have Optimus Prime's surfboard. Now, if you're a kid of the 80s and you remember the original cartoon, there was that one episode where they had these surfboards, and it was pretty cool to watch Transformers surfing. But you can place Optimus Prime on the surfboard. I don't know how you're going to display him unless you have a stand that's actually going to hold it. I mean, he didn't come with one. It would have been cool, but you know what? It's okay. It's okay, because it's just a nostalgic throw-in, and that's cool of Super7 to do. They didn't have to do this, and they did. So here's his surfboard. And then another nostalgic was when they were captured on the dam in the very beginning, first 5 episodes, I believe that it was. Was it? No, the Dinobot episodes. Megatron had captured him in electric chains, and this is what it looked like wrapped around Optimus Prime. Now this is a soft plastic, and it's got the blue and the yellow going through it to give it that electric effect. Really cool. Really cool that this is added in, because you can have him like he's bound the way he was in that one episode. So that's cool. And then, of course, he comes with his Matrix. You cannot store this Matrix in his chest. It's just there. So you have the Matrix. You can do him holding it. You can do it where he's dropping it. But yeah, no, it's a nice little another Matrix to have, which is cool because it goes with him. And yeah, it just has the blue and the yellow in there and a little bit of gray. But overall in all, it's just a nice little throw-in that they chose to do. Now you have Optimus Prime's Energon Axe. Very well done. Very, very well done. This is of course, from the first 5 episodes of the Transformers where he fought Megatron over up on Sherman Dam. Very nice. Just plugs right into his arm, and I'll show it off later on. Nice little clear orange plastic at the edge of the axe, and then he has a little tip here, and then it goes down to the ball, which is very nice. So yeah, we have Optimus Prime's Energon Axe. Next we have Sideswipe's jetpack, and we all remember when the Decepticons were taking off in their ship to head out to Cybertron from Earth. He used Sideswipe's jetpack to catch up to them, and then he got shot out of the sky pretty much and just wiped out like a ball of dirt. But this is cool. This actually connects to Optimus on his back, so you have this also a nice little throw-in piece, and it's just casted in gray. You have a little bit of detail there with black for the jet parts. Overall, it's a nice little addition to this figure. Like I said, he comes with a lot of stuff, so hang in there with me. We're almost through it. And next we have the basketball. For that one episode where they were playing basketball in the opening. But still, it's a cool little addition. It's a nice little, I love the way that they made this basketball with the lines and everything. This porthole here, there's a reason for it, and I'll show that off in a little while. But yeah, very nice. Cool addition to the figure. Once again, I mean, they're just throwing these things in there to try to please everybody, and I think that's really cool of Brian Flynn and his team to do so. Yeah, so let's keep going on and getting these accessories out of the way. Here we have an itty bitty Spike Wiki. That's cool. I mean, he's tiny. Nice little painted detail on this guy. As far as his helmet, doesn't really have much of a facial expression on him. It's just kind of a blank face, and that's okay. That's cool. I mean, he's just cool to have, and he's got his little hard hat. His sleeves are rolled up. He's got a little bit of a detail in the actual, in his shirt, down to his jeans that he has on, all the way down to his little yellow boots, his work boots that he has. I mean, you can even see his belt buckles or belt loops on his pants. And that's cool. They did the back of the head with the hair, the little sideburns and everything. And just to give you a little bit of a, he will stand. He's just kind of a little whatever. But you can tell the height difference between him and Optimus Prime, that this is the way a human is supposed to scale with Optimus. If I can get him to stand. Come on. Just there you go. But he is teeny tiny, teeny tiny. Okay, so this is the actual head that comes on the figure when you get him out of the box. The actual animated Optimus Prime head. And it is beautiful. It is beautiful. They included the 4 dots in the back of the head. You have his antenna. You have the front part of, this vent in the front on the front of his head. Yeah, you have his face, his eyes. I mean, beautifully done, nostalgic, straight to the cartoon. Beautifully painted, the blue, the light blue for the eyes, the gray for the face and the mouth, and everything. He's a truck driver, so this part of his head always reminded me of a hat, or like a hard hat that he's wearing, more like a trucker's cap, kind of, right? I don't know if you guys see it, but that's the way I've always seen Optimus Prime, even as a kid in the cartoon. Really cool, nicely done, very well done. I mean, I'm telling you, I will put this on this figure and show them off in a little bit, and you guys can actually see how nice it actually looks on the figure, as well as that vintage Optimus Prime head. Now on to his hands. So he has 2 sets of fists, and he has a gripping hand, and he has another open palm with a peg on it, and I'll show you exactly what that is all for in a little bit. And they're all movable. They all have a hinge. Same thing with the pointed hand, same thing with the pistol holding hand. Yes, of course, I wanted to show off his pointy finger hand, the way it looks when he's not on him, so you guys can get an up close look at this actual fist, his hand pointing, and then of course his actual pistol holding hand, his pistol gripping hand. And I love the way they did them. They put nice little circles in there for the fingers, and then the smoothness of the actual back of the hand, and then you can see the actual detail of the palms of the hand inside. They did a bang up job with this. And last but not least, we have Optimus Prime's famous rifle, his blaster rifle, his ion cannon, whatever you want to call it. Here it is. It's all casted in black. Some nice little detail on the back that they've included. And then on the sides here, you have his clip, and you have the actual handle along with the trigger, little point here, moving down to the actual barrel. Many times Optimus could change his barrel, make his beam shorter or bigger. Most of the time it was a huge blast that came out of this thing. When he pulled this gun, you knew stuff was going to go down. But yeah, that's really cool. They included his ion blaster, right? It was an ion blaster with it? Yeah, because Megatron had the fusion cannon, so I think this was his ion blaster. But that's cool. Really cool. So now that I've got all the accessories out of the way, let's take a look at the actual figure. Alright, so now let's take a look at this guy. So let's just take a look at the paint sculpt first, and then we'll get into everything else. So Optimus has, I have the vintage 1984 Hasbro Transformer toy head on him. And it's beautiful. I love the way that they did the yellow in the eyes. I love the silver that's on him. They did a beautiful job with this guy. Coming down, his whole body's cast in red. I love the way they did this Autobot symbol, the way that it's on there. It's not textured, so it's actually painted on there, and it's very nicely done. His smokestacks on his arms look very vintage, and he has the arrows on his arm. I don't know if you can see them right there. They're not painted the way they were in the cartoon and stuff like that. That's okay, because I know a lot of times in the cartoon they were just red. Then you have the lights on Optimus here that, they're just always red. They don't have any yellow in them. And then his windshield. No windshield wipers. But he does have just a windshield there. Then you have the silver coming down and around. Then you have his abs, which is the actual grill of the actual semi. And then the lights that are right here. And then leading down to the legs, they're just cast in like a gray plastic, not white, but like off gray. Down to the fuel tanks on his legs, down to his actual legs, you have the vents, and then his feet, and of course his hands, which are all blue. Leading to the back, we have some detail on the back of the legs here, and then the legs themselves, and then you have some detail on the back of Optimus, and then his actual back, a little bit more detail. bang up job these guys have done with this guy. Just ecstatic to show this guy off. All right, so let's take a look at this the articulation of this guy. So his head can move side to side. He has great head tilt. So the head tilt, you can get more expression out of him. Of course, you know, he doesn't have a mouth because he has the face plate over it. But the head tilt gives it that expression, which is nice. I mean, he can look down that far. He can look up. Oh, that's as far as he can look up. And his head can turn side to side or completely all the way around. His shoulder articulation, you gotta line it up. His shoulders can get out that far. He has a single joint in the elbow, which is only gonna get you that much range. He has a wrist swivel, and then he has his wrist hinge. He has hip swivel, and he does have an ab crunch, so he can ab crunch down that far, and then he's straight back up. His legs, this is a kind of a softer plastic right here for the legs, so he can do the splits about this far. And he has single jointed knee, which will get you, that far of a range, which is not bad at all. He has an upper thigh swivel, which moves side to side. And then down, he doesn't really have too much ankle articulation, but his foot can pivot backwards that far and it can pivot up that far. Like I said, it's a standard articulation when it comes to this guy here, as far as it being Super 7. But hey, if you want nostalgic, now you have the nostalgic Optimus Prime. So now I've shown off his articulation and his paint sculpt. Let's get into actually taking a look at some poses that I can get this guy into, and then we will do some comparisons and then the review.
Megatron must be stopped, no matter the cost. I'm going to end your hunger once and for all. Watch out, Spike. I'm driving for a layoff.
It's called a layup, Prime.
All right, now that we got him into those poses, you can see a little bit of the stuff that he comes with, him interacting with it. Let's get him into some comparisons. Here's how he compares to Marvel's Rescue, Pepper Potts and the Rescue Armor. Here's how he compares to Falcon from The Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Here's how he compares to Frieza in his fourth form. And here's how he compares to Spike Wiki. Alright, so that is my review on the Ultimate Optimus Prime from Super 7. Listen, this guy might not have a whole lot of articulation to him and all that, but Brian Flynn and crew, thumbs up guys. You did a fabulous job with this figure. Yeah, fabulous job. Fabulous job. I think he's awesome. So if you guys are looking to pick up the Ultimate Super 7 Optimus Prime, do so, because he is a killer figure. I like him. It's a nostalgic throwback to when I was a kid. And hey, that's all I have to say about that one. Guys, please like, subscribe, share, and leave a comment down below. And I'll catch you on the flippity flip.